I wanted to start, and what was important for us is to really talk about the work of Win with Black Women, past, present, and the future. Now, many of you may have just came to know Win with Black Women when we had our historic call with 44,000 Black women on Zoom and another 50,000 watching on that very special night in July of last year. But we have been meeting for more than 4 years. And so we really want to talk about Win with Black Women. And it really starts with it being a love letter to ourselves. We'll go to the next slide. So, what is Win with Black Women? We are Black women leaders. We volunteer. We are all volunteers here at Win with Black Women. We are intergenerational, intersectional. And as I've shared at the top of the agenda, we're business leaders, we're political strategists, we're student leaders, faith leaders, entertainment, music, sports, Silicon Valley. And we welcome all people who identify as Black women who share our values. So our goals are threefold: eliminate racist and sexist attacks on Black women, support Black women running for elected office at the federal level, at the state level, and local levels, and to elevate the agenda, image, and collective power of Black women. And just a little bit of a history. We'll keep going right here. On August 4th, 2020, we came together, and it was 90 of us on a call about our power and our purpose. And our first call to action was a massive letter to push back against racism and sexism. And then we had a massive letter to Vice President Biden, who was at the time the candidate for president, about having a Black woman VP. That letter had more than 2,600 signatures. And that really was following the leadership of Black women whom had been meeting with then the vice president and who had been working to really create that very powerful moment. Next slide. And then you can see the power of the collective. We have done a lot of great work together. I mean, just take a look at this collage and you can see the work, whether or not it was our work to help support working in partnership with Black women-led organizations, the nomination and confirmation of so many Black women in this historic administration. You'll hear and see from them later today. Our work to support Black women in entertainment, our work to support Black women elected leaders, engaging conversations, raising money to put food trucks in Georgia, raising money for candidates, collective love letter to the WNBA, and the work goes on. This is just a snapshot of the amazing work that we have all done together, our collective power. Next slide. On July 21st, 2024, many of you are familiar with this day. That was the historic day. And really, it's really important to share that after this happened, after the announcement of President Biden withdrawing his bid for president, Congresswoman Joyce Beatty was on national television, and she said Black women were going to be strategizing, because when with Black women, we had already had our call set for that Sunday night. And over the past 4 years, you know, we had grew from 90 that very first night. On July 20th, 2024, we had about 4,000 Black women in our network. But on July 21st, I'll never forget, Congresswoman Joyce Beatty said on MSNBC, she said, there are going to be 18,000 Black women on a call. And MSNBC said, really? And she said, no, it's going to be 30,000. Well, she knew something that we didn't. The spirit knew something that we did not. And that night, there were more than 90,000 people strategizing on that call. And it has brought us very far. Next slide. Now, as of September 30th, 2024, Win with Black Women have had models where there have been models that had already been in place in Florida and North Carolina. And then state organizing had begun, and ultimately 29 states began organizing under the Win with Black Women brand. Again, working as a collective, individuals in their personal capacity to uplift and empower. And again, we're all volunteers. We all do this work as volunteers. It is our collective love letter to ourselves from ourselves. And on November the 5th, 2024, on Election Day, by then, our Win with Black Women network had grown to nearly 145,000 Black women leaders, and it continues to grow. And post-election, we're now, we were, I think, last week at 175,000, but when this PowerPoint was done, we're now at 180,000 in this network. And we do a lot of work, and we organize through our Sunday calls, through our state networks, through our mailing list, where you get a lot of information and action, and through digital engagement. And what's important for us is making sure that we give you the tools, we give you information, we give you action, that we amplify the work of Black women-led organizations and historically Black women organizations who have been in our communities doing the work on a day-to-day basis, that we amplify and lift up and support when and where we can. Finally, our next slide. Here's just a little bit about one of our greatest assets, which is our social media. We've had just between July 21st and November 15th, we had 46,000 online mentions. We had 1,400 broadcast mentions, 2.7 million online engagement. The advertising value of that was $938 million. 865 million television audience that we've touched, and an online reach of 223 billion. And that work was led at the helm by the amazing Rachel Norlander, who has led the PR work and the media work with Win with Black Women for so long, in addition to her amazing team at Actum LLC. Next slide. Closing out the year was very strong. We focused on our power, our purpose, and our progress. And we're very intentional about the culture of love for Black women. For us, it's important. For us, and what makes us special is that, you know, for us, it's about creating a safe space and a brave space for Black women, showing up in our personal capacity and leading only in our identity of Black women. We welcome all and who identify this way, and we recognize and honor the power by leveraging it to support our goals. Next slide. I want to thank you. And as I close, I want to say that this work, again, is powered by Black women. Everyone you see, from Holly Holiday to Christina Q, Dr. Edwina Ward, Chantel Mullen, Jewel Love, Karen Finney, Rachel Norlander, all of us, we donate our time and our efforts, and all of the other women that you see, Rosalind Brock and Bishop Leah Daughtry and the Color Girls and Donna Brazil